up, band, a little bit here. It seems that just after the president and this amazing singer, that how do we actually get a crowd here in front of us? But I really appreciate that you want to spend some time here. I'm not going to waste your time, hopefully not. I'll be spending 10 minutes of sharing what I believe are the mindset of great founders here in the new Nordics. As mentioned, my name is Eric Lachey. I'm the founding partner at ByFounders. We are the community-led early stage venture fund of the new Nordics. And I have two of my colleagues. At least I have two fans here in the group. And that's Magnus and Matthias. Get a good shout out to them. I've been fortunate to be on a journey where I experienced the power of startup. I was early at Skype, working together with Janus and Niklas and the amazing team we had here in Estonia. Since then, I joined another startup called Tradeshift, which is now another unicorn. And then I did my own startup that I brought to San Francisco, where I lived for 8 years and sold that to HP. And then in 2017, I took the initiative of creating a venture fund, very simple, ByFounders, because we are founders that want to support the next generation of ambitious founders here in the new Nordic. But what I wanted to share today is a little bit, if I distill on this journey of Skype, Tradeshift, my own startup, and what we are doing at ByFounders, what are the things that I really encourage you as founders to think of every day and how you can change the world. Without further ado, I'll jump into this. So the first thing, just wanted to set the scene. You might have heard sometimes the term New Nordic. I started using that back in 2017 when we started the fund. And I think it's essential for us to emphasize this, as I've seen the power of Skype, started by a Swede, a Dane, and a great team in Estonia. And I think what we as a region can do is amazing. And I do feel that here in Estonia, in Latvia and Lithuania, there's a much tighter, closer affiliation with the Nordics than anywhere else. And we actually share so many cultural bonds. So I hope that you will help bring the message out about the new Nordic, because hopefully in 10 years, we won't even talk about the new Nordic. It will just be part of the Nordics. And we are one big family. We are all connected by the ocean, by the sea. We have been doing trades together for many, many years. And we are actually proving that when we work together, we can actually do miracles. So this one is the first story I wanted to start with. And I just put disrupt on it. That's a typical, startup phrase. We want to disrupt. Do you know what this picture tells about? What that is the story about? It's very simple. It is the story about innovation. We are brought up, we are educated, and we are hired as shepherds. This is what everybody wants us to be. Shepherds. It's counting the sheep every quarter, every day, and telling our managers they are all doing good, we are doing fine. And they report it up to their managers, to the CEO, and eventually to the board. And the board of all these large companies, they are filled with shepherds that are just like, okay, yeah, next quarter looks great. The sheep are there. We are happy. But you as founders are wolves. That is the sole purpose in life that you have, you being wolves. You want to eat as many sheep as possible before the shepherd realizes what the fuck is going on. And if you think about that on a daily basis, right, how you as a wolf can make a difference. Like Bolt, a wolf, the regular taxi driver didn't know what was happening until suddenly they saw Bolt was there, right? Pipedrive, with everything they are doing. Skype, disrupting the whole telco space. They are wolves. You need to think like wolves to really make a difference. So think about this picture. Next time you are making a decision, is this a decision a shepherd you would make, or is it a decision that a wolf be making? Okay? Think of that. Next one, think big. The biggest challenge we have, and the thing we spend the most time on when we meet with ambitious founders, or at least founders, let me say it like this. In the new Nordic, we are simply not thinking big enough. We continuously saying, oh, if we could just do something like this. We don't change the world by just doing that. We need to think big. So I encourage you to continue thinking. When you are saying, I have a great idea, then think, is this problem big enough? Can we do a real challenge or change? What's interesting is that the new Nordic is the region in the world that has the most unicorns per GDP. Like, we are punching above our weight. Like, just looking at Estonia, 1.2 million people, and you have more unicorns than France that are 65 million people, right? This is incredible. And this is when founders that are thinking like wolves are thinking big and are thinking global from day one, because, hey, being big in Estonia, being big in the new Nordic doesn't count. You need to be fucking global. And that's what you need to think. Be ready, think big, think like global from day one. Okay, define the category. You probably all heard the story about this professor that says, hey, I have this jar and I put these big rocks in it. Is it full? And the student said, yes, it's full. And then he takes pebbles on it and he asks, is it full? And they said, yes. And then he takes sand and he asks, is it full? And they say, yes. And then he takes water and then he says, okay, is it full? Yeah, we are getting there. Too many founders are right now building things that are literally sand or water. You need to find the category and define that. You need to be the rock. Find these ideas that are earth-defining, changing, and really build a category. If you look at the unicorns that we have here in the new Nordic, Skype, Aura, Klarna, Medallia or Meltwater, Spotify, Unity, Pipedrive, Zendesk. If there's one thing they have in common, is that they have defined a category. Think about how you can define a category. It is essential. When you are doing and think about how you can change the world, don't think, for today, but for a better tomorrow. We have such a huge task in front of us. And for those who are bringing kids to the world, it's not a good thing, right? We need to do something different. And you can do that. You have the power because you are thinking like wolves. You are thinking about building a new category. You're thinking global. You're thinking big. Let's make sure it's also creating a better tomorrow. Okay, let's not forget, we are a huge population, but it saddens me every day when I speak with founders, just male founders. They are fucking not understanding that we have some of the brilliance mind that they are not activating. We need to think about gender diversity from the get-go. It doesn't matter. Like, I get so sad when I meet these founding teams. They're sitting 4 male co-founders, and they already ruined any type of chance of building a gender diversified startup. And the fact matters is, if you actually have gender diversity on your team, you have a much higher likelihood of success. So think about that. Okay. Here comes a little test. The first quiz of today. These are like Danish, Swedish, Finnish, Estonian, and Icelandic. Raise your hand if you know, if all of you do know, like those who know these names, like in your local language. Schadenfreude, Skadefryd, Skadeglædje. I have no idea how you pronounce it in Estonia. Like, how many knows these words? The concept of getting pleasure in seeing other people fail. We all know that, right? We all know that, how it's been in the schoolyard when somebody fell and other people like, haha, laughs about that. This is the biggest barrier for us in the new Nordic to build great companies. Because as founders, as you are leaning in, you are taking risk every day. How big is the chance of failure? Massive. And when you know that just behind you are the full population just ready to laugh at you and say, hey, I told you so. And like, look at this. You couldn't do anything, right? You should have done this. You should have listened to your mother. You should have done this, right? This is extraordinary that we have this word. Can then anyone tell me, just please, anyone, what is the opposite word? The word that describes, in one word, getting pleasure in seeing other people succeed. Very simple. Right? In any of your countries, if you look at the dictionary, you will find this word, but you will not find the opposite. The simple word of getting pleasure in seeing other people succeed. Isn't it crazy that we have built like a culture? We have words for microwave and chair and glass and love and hygge and so on, but we are missing the fundamental of just getting pleasure in seeing other people succeed. That is what I want to have you go away from this conference today. The one word that can change everything. And for me, that is the word mudita. It is a Buddhist word. If you go on Wikipedia, you will find it. It basically describes getting the joy of seeing other people succeed. And if you realize, if you think in your mind, what is it that drives happiness in you? I don't think, and I will challenge you, it's not how big your car is or how big your house is or anything like that. It is very much when you can see that you have made a fundamental change or difference from somebody that you have helped. That is mudita. What I have gone, because like when I first heard about this word some 15 years ago, I kept on saying, I really can relate to it. It brings value, but it's like, what do I do? And I kept on saying to people, if I ever had a tattoo, it should say mudita, because that is really what I believe is bringing the value and happiness in life. And so, boom, I got a tattoo. When I turned 50, I said, this is about time I get a tattoo. I got the mudita tattoo. What we are trying here at this conference is to instill that you should all get this tattoo. Of course, not the tattoo, but Kai here has a stamp, and you should go over to her and get a stamp like I did here this morning with mudita. And you will realize what that opens up of a power. Because from now on, when you meet with people, you should not ask them, how are you? Like, how are you? And everybody gives a shit answer, and yeah, I'm good, whatever. And they are actually not true. You should always ask, how can I help? How can I help? It's a very simple, gesture that you are doing, but it can mean a ton of difference from the folks that you are speaking with. A very simple thing that can change the trajectory in life for someone. When we are meeting founder to founder, and you are always having things that keeps you up at night, share that with others, because there are people out there that can help you to overcome the challenges that you have today, tomorrow, and going forward. So always ask, how can I help? Because at the end, you can go fast alone, but together we can go much, much further. And that is the essence of the community that we are building here in the new Nordic with founders, great founders like you. So think about that. Thank you very much.